Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Close More Sales more often. Every Thursday, it's reinforcement sales training. And for 25 bucks a week for now, I'm going to move that up very shortly. This is the intro offer as I use my writings and my experience and my background and all the people that I know and the stories that I have from actual sales to help you grow and close more sales. So a little bit about me. I'm Stephen Lentini, Steve, better known as Steve Lentini. I've been in sales since 1975. That's right, since I was 4. I started when my brother called me. I was working at a bank, and I had a brother in distribution business, and he called me and said, "You want to come sell for me?" And I said, "Yes." I went and gave my notice. And then 2 weeks later, as I was driving to work, I realized I had never asked what I was going to get paid. And my brother said to me in 1975, "You are going to get paid commission." Okay. I didn't even know what that was. But I learned quick that it was you sell something, you get paid. So he gave me a small base of customers that earned me around $2,700 a month. It was actually less than I was making at the bank, and it really didn't matter because I wanted control over my destiny. And so that's what salespeople have as a real gift, is control over their destiny. Whether it's salary and a bonus or 100% commission, I was 100% commission with some expense money. That experience was just enlivening to me. I was able to, as I went out and met people and found things that they wanted to buy and helped them buy, I made more money. Now, originally, I had a lot of frustration in selling. I started out by driving around the block. I didn't want to go in. I didn't want to make a call. Once I got over that inertia, the only training back then was features, advantages, benefits. So you'd show a product, you'd talk about its features, the advantages of it, and then the benefits of having it. And then you'd say, okay, so how many would you like? Would you like me to deliver them next Tuesday or next Thursday? All these things, the alternate event close, the Ben Franklin close, they had all these ideas about how to sell people. And that really was my intro to selling, and it wasn't very effective. And over time, I just pushed those ideas aside, and I started thinking about, I'm meeting people. That's really my job. And I liked people. I love going to meet people. So I went out and met people. So more about that in a minute. So fast forward, I spent a number of years with my brother's business. Then I bought a distribution company. I sold it to a larger company. I spent 16 years with them. Then I bought the license for the Sandler Sales Institute, which is really very well renowned. It's a great training program. I never, ever suggested anyone not sign up for Sandler. I say, sign up for Sandler. You know, there's plenty in the world. I believe I have a program that is much more suited to faster success and a lot of fun, because it's not a lot of stuff to remember. It's about being you. So I spent 6 years in the Sandler system. And all of these jobs have had in some way coaching people. When I worked for my brother, I was the vice president of sales, and I had a sales team. When I worked for other companies, I had other salespeople working for me. I had sales teams. And I really enjoy helping people succeed and watching other people experiment with their life, helping them experiment with their life and grow and learn and then make more money. I mean, that's what we're all about. So we're about having the fun of meeting people and not the pressure of a goal. And so that's what I'm teaching, is to how to detach from that outcome and really be present in one's body and have fun meeting people. That's your job initially, is to meet people. And then, of course, as you grow, now it's networking and referrals, asking your people that love you, that really like to do business with you, love to do business with you, for help and for referrals. And so as one grows, all the needs change. But in communication, of course, there isn't just one way to communicate with people. It's dynamic, not static. And so because the needle of what's required in communication is always moving back and forth, kind of like a pendulum. If you think of it, you want to understand the dynamics of that physics, the dynamics of that pendulum moving back and forth in conversation. And your goal has to be an adult conversation. So that's what I learned really a lot of from Sandler. And then, of course, from experimenting on my own. So let me just take a look at my outline here as I'm prepared. I do some preparation and some meditation and pre-thinking about each class, and I invest a lot of time in it, and I'm actively coaching salespeople and leaders today, by the way. Okay, so my job, what I learned initially was to meet people, and how I developed my way of doing this, my system was, I was going in saying, hey, I'm not here to sell anything right now. And I wondered, if you were me, you buy a lot of the products that I buy. If you were me, who would you call on in this town? And some people would say, well, you might call on me. And I'd say, okay, what would that look like? I mean, you've got all these supplies. And they would tell me what that would look like. Well, I could give you a part of it. So why would that be? I was curious, like, why would you give up some of what you're buying to some stranger that just walked in the door? And they would say, well, I'm really not happy, and I did hear a lot about your company. Oh, okay, what did you hear? And we got into an adult conversation where I gave them the space to not buy, and I questioned, why would they take the business away from who they had? And it turned into more business. Those that didn't buy also said to me, hey, if I were you, I would call on this guy and that guy. Can I use your name? It's amazing. They're buying from somebody else, yet they told me to go see so-and-so and so-and-so, probably because they knew they were unhappy, and they referred me and said I could use their name, and that led to business. But again, my goal was really to just have a conversation. I remember going back to some people who said, no, I'm not interested. I say, gee, you just seem upset. Did I upset you? Oh, no. I really don't like salespeople calling on me, but you said you weren't selling anything. I said, no, not for now. I said, no, I'm not interested. Thank you very much. A couple of times I went back to their place of business to do business with them. And they said to me, first thing, in 2 instances, even 3, I just thought of a third. They said to me a variation of this. Steve, I told you I'm not interested. I said, I'm here to buy from you. Can I do that? Oh, I'm sorry. And that led to, in 1 out of 3, that led to business. It was really fun. And I realized this is how to do it. Now that's a song, right? This is how we do it. Okay, I'm not going to sing. I digress. And I was discovering a way to communicate with people in adult communication, in adult fashion. And the way you get to an adult is, first you have to strip away people's resistance to salespeople. And they've learned resistance to salespeople from salespeople. Being pushy, not really being interested in the customer, being more interested in their goals. I call that commission breath. They have commission breath. It stinks. You want to be there to help people. That's your goal. And you want to be there you're interested in, how do they buy? What are their thoughts about buying? Who do they buy from? Are they happy? What would they do if they were you? Now that's in a lot of cases, it was cold calling. So today we've moved fast forward to networking and social media. And the principles are the same. If you're on social media, you should be blogging and writing and posting about how to help people buy in your industry, in what you sell, not selling them. Yeah, I have total strangers reach out to me on LinkedIn saying, hey, Steve, glad we connected. This is their first reach out to me after we connected. Steve, glad we connected. I sell this, this, and this, and I'm wondering if I can arrange a meeting or a demo. And no. It's like, no, X out. No. Okay. Talking too much. So I work with a lot of salespeople, and one of the first things I notice is they're trying to convince people of stuff. You can't convince people of anything. First, you got to understand, where are they at? Are they even a fit for you? So prospects should be talking 70% of the time. And so how do you get someone talking 70% of the time? I'm waiting for an answer. Just kidding. Okay, so I was going to drink my coffee. How about if I have a sip? Get your coffee too. Okay. So you get people talking by having questions. And then in the beginning of the call, too, you get them talking by setting aside some time to bond with them. 15% of the allotted time for the call, if it's an hour, 10 to 15 minutes. If it's 45 minutes, maybe 9 minutes, 9 minutes, 20% of the call. That's all you want to do. And you can ask them about their job, about their company, how long they've been there, how did they get the job, what did they start at this level? Hey, I used to say to people, were you recruited in? I wondered that because there was so much recruitment of people going on. And it happens today. It's a good way to start a conversation. The old days, they used to teach about bonding. Look around the office, see what they do. It's like you're on a spy mission. Just have an adult conversation about the company they work for, how long they've been there, and you never have to worry or wonder, like, what am I going to bond with them about? It's about being relaxed and being comfortable in your body. Breathe. Bring yourself down to your body and breathe, and have questions prepared that'll help the prospect talk 70% of the time. You talk 30. If it's 60-40, hey, listen, I'm not going to split hairs with you, but the goal is they need to talk more. Why? Why? You need to get information. That's your job today. Get information, not give it. You cannot get information while you're talking. You might have the greatest thing since sliced bread. What if they just bought it from somebody? You really look like a fool. What if they just bought your competitor's version of it? And what if it's slightly better? Now what are you going to tell them? Okay. Another thing that salespeople need to get and to improve their performance and to close faster is to understand you can't sell anybody anything. We've all heard that old cliche, oh, he could sell the shirt off your back to you. Okay. That may be true. That may be true, that you have a lot of natural ability to bond with people, but let's call it what it is. You're bonding with people, you have some natural ability to connect, and then you find out what they need and you sell it to them. But you cannot sell anybody anything. You have to discover first, do they have a pain? Do they have a problem large enough for what it is you sell to require it to solve a problem? Most people, 99%, except maybe the owner, but we'll talk about that in a minute, they've got a job responsibility and a job description that requires them to fulfill certain responsibilities in order to get paid or get a bonus. So you want to find out what's affecting their job performance and what is it that they're going through right now that is really troubling them about the performance of the company. And with the owners, of course, it's the bottom line, serving customers, helping them get a broader base of customers. And so you want to find out how you can help them do that. Can you help them improve their bottom line? I hope you have those ideas. Can you help them improve their performance with their customers? Again, all ideas you need to, excuse me. Excuse me. All things you need to know before you go in. See it. My mother used to say, when you sneeze, it must be true. Okay. So when you go into a customer to get them talking, you're going to have questions after you bond. And then you're going to, again, have more questions to help you understand, can you help them buy your product? Is what you have a fit? Does what you have solve a need and a problem? And what's their need? So it's discovery. Kind of like the doctor asking a lot of questions about, where's the pain? Show me when it shows up. Do it again. Okay, how's that feel? Let me check over here. It's the doctor is diagnosing. So you're going to go in and diagnose. Jeffrey Fell talks about it in his great book, Mastering the Complex Sale. and he's updated it. So it's a great read if you like reading. A lot of salespeople don't. The Challenger Sale by Matthew Dixon, another good book. My book, Sales Success for the Rookie, How to Succeed at Sales Right from the Start. My book, Sales Success for the Seasoned Veteran, How to Stay at Peak Performance. Sales Success for the Spiritual Salesperson, Wake Up, Jump Into Your Life. All of these things help salespeople perform better and close more sales. Anyway, I digress. You can also email me about those books, and I'm glad to send you information. I also, by the way, have a chapter. I'm a contributing author to a book called Imagine 30 Days to a New You. I'll give you more information about that too, again, if you email me. So if you're talking too much, you're over-educating a prospect. You may even tell them something that would shut them down from buying. I've witnessed it. So you paucis verbis. In Latin, that means with few words. Paucis verbis. I like to tell salespeople you shouldn't even have to present if you do your job right in asking questions and helping them come to a conclusion that you have something that they could use, right? That could solve a pain. Probably, by the way, if you got an appointment, I'm hoping you know this. Most young salespeople know it, or younger salespeople. They've already researched you online. They know a lot about what you have to sell, or they wouldn't give you an appointment. It's very different than it was years ago. There's social media. They've checked out Twitter. They've checked out LinkedIn. They've checked out if your company has a Facebook page. They've checked your website. They've looked for posts. Do you give information to help people, or are you just out there to make a sale? So many companies are just out there to make a sale. It's really sickening, actually. Those companies over time will fail. It's the companies that are making connections and that are helping people and setting their whole company up to add value. Those are the companies that are really making a difference. Okay, so if you're talking too much, then you run the risk of over-educating. And again, questions. You have to help the prospect here, whether they need you or not. That's your goal. Now, when you think of making a presentation, you want to make the presentation only to the needs that have been expressed, right? Only to the pain that's been brought up during the meeting. And even before I present, I like to say, okay, so what's really important? What would you like to see that's really important considering everything we've discussed over the last 10, 15 minutes? Okay, why is that most important to you? Okay, great. Here's what this is what I suggest based on what you've told me. And I'll give them the 2 or 3 things that they are looking for. How does that seem to you? On a scale of 1 to 8, if 8 was, we'd move to the next step. I want to give them some bracket, some room to move in. If they say, I'm at 2, well, wow, I made a mistake. I really missed something, right? I haven't done my job. Typically, most people say between 5 and 8. If you've done your job with questions and they really have a pain and you have a solution that they're interested in, they brought you in, they checked on the website, so you have a solution they're curious about. If you've really done your job, then, and they say 5, then you would say, hey, what do you need to hear to get to an 8, where we would talk about the next step? They'll tell you, pay attention. Pay attention. You know, all during the questioning process, watch their body language. If somebody starts to do this and turn away a little bit and get a little uncomfortable, or they're fidgeting and their arms are crossed, I would say, hey, did I say anything that made you uncomfortable? Was there something that you heard that has you concerned? Because I'm not worried about making the sale. I'm paying attention to what's happening. I'm grounded. I'm in my body. Do I want to make the sale? Of course, if it's a good fit. I don't want the customer if it's not a good fit. Guess what's going to happen if it's not a good fit? They're going to be unhappy. They're not going to recommend you. They might even post stuff on the web. They're going to call 10 people, say, wow, these people had a horrible process. I even ask people about the process after they buy. Hey, how was our sales process? How did it feel to you? It's important to make a connection with people today. That's what's going on in the sales world. It's not features, advantages, benefits, doing a tap dance. Here's my product. Hope you liked it. Sign hard, 3 copies. That's what they used to say in Glen Ross in the always be closing. Yeah, maybe gently, checking in. How am I doing so far? A scale of 1 to 5. If 5 was you'd continue, and 1 you'd throw me out. I mean, have some fun with it. I'm going to throw you out. Okay, what happened? What did I do? I really missed something. I made a big mistake. I'm sorry. What did I do? Help me understand it. By the way, you can't lose what you don't have. You cannot lose what you don't have. This is what salespeople don't get. That's why they're attached to outcomes and they have commission breath. Because they want to make a sale. Their boss said, go close that guy. Bosses are sometimes mostly dumber than salespeople because they're pushing salespeople to go make a sale, and they don't understand that pressure is felt by a customer at some point. The culture that you create inside your company is felt by your customers at some point. If you don't care about your employees, they won't care about your customers. They won't, and your customers are going to feel it. They're dealing with disengaged employees who really don't care about the customer or care about the outcome. So bosses that put a lot of pressure on, that have big egos, they're really running the risk of running down their employees and then running down the company. And most do over time. Most do. Just like indifferent bosses who don't do anything. They accept any kind of behavior from salespeople or from the inside team. Indifference equals acceptance. If you're indifferent, you better get an opinion and a passion about your business and learn to respect and treat your employees with respect. Learn to respect them. I've worked with people who think they have all the right ideas. It drives you crazy, right? They think they have all the right ideas. So there's no room for employees to grow. Just because an employee has a different idea doesn't make it a bad idea, right? It doesn't make it a bad idea. So let people have different ideas. Same thing with salespeople. A lot of salespeople think they have the best idea since sliced bread. We all think we can run the company better. No, that's good. In my 40 years, I've noticed that makes for good salespeople. They got an opinion about a lot of different things. They even think they could run the company better. All right, they can't. It's not your job. It's wasted energy. If you're complaining about the company and you're not complaining to the boss of the department you think could run better with a suggestion, then you're just a bag of gas. Yeah, that's it. And a lot of people spend time kibitzing at the water cooler, or they call each other after work because heaven knows they're not going to make another sales call. Now they got an excuse. They can talk to their buddy about how bad the company is, or how bad this department is, or how bad XYZ is. It's dumb. And a complainer, read James Allen's work, As a Man Thinketh, or The Path to Prosperity. James Allen said, why would the universe give a complainer anything? They're not worthy of it. They're not deserving. They're a complainer. Quit your complaining. Okay. Any questions so far? I keep looking down because I'm looking at myself instead of looking at the camera. So I'm getting used to all this. And I'm having fun with it. It's what I love. So I had someone call me today who was new in sales and really a little worried about how she was doing, how could she break through, and how do I get better at all this, and I want to close a sale. And I said, okay, so number one, find a mentor. Find someone who's done it well in the company and get help. Say, hey, you are really good at what you do. Can you show me a few things? Would you help me? Especially if the company does not have a very good formal training program. Many companies don't. They bring salespeople in, they interview them, they like the interview energy, and they hire them thinking, wow, we got ourselves a tiger by the tail. They're going to sell everything to anybody. And they're going to sell everybody and anybody, everything we sell. And it just isn't true. So I said to this young person, find a mentor, find someone who did it well and is doing it well. Ask them for help. Number two, your job is to meet people. Get out there and meet people. Go to networking events. Where do your customers hang out? So get out there. And the other thing is I noticed this person had a lot of negative energy in their mind. The picture that was held in this person's mind was, I can't do this, I can't do that, it's so hard breaking through it, yada, 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 without going into all the details. You know what negative thinking is like. When you hear the words, I can't do this, it's hard, it's been so difficult, I'm not sure, and I could hear the energy of the person. The energy of the person kind of drained me a little bit for a moment. And I said, as I felt that draining energy, this is not true about you. It's only true because you're believing those thoughts in your head. It's very important to change negative thinking into positive thinking and to have affirmations. You don't have to be religious to appreciate Joel Osteen's message about I am. He recently wrote a book about the power of I am. And those are called affirmations. Wayne Dyer talked about it. Deepak Chopra talked about it. You can find a lot of different people talking about the power of changing one's mind from negative to positive. And both exist in our world, so that the reason they do is so that we know we're alive. If everything was always positive, wonderful, wonderful, we wouldn't even know we were alive. We get up and say, I don't have to make a living because everything's wonderful. That's not the case. We have challenges. We have to make connections with people. Not all personalities are the same, and the ones who show up in their body and present have a better chance of making a sale because they're making a connection. And if you've got positive energy in your brain, you feel it and you send it out. So I'm talking to this person who called me and they were draining my energy. What do you think that's doing for the people that she's talking to when they're trying to make a sale? So when this person was trying to make a sale, I bet you people were feeling this energy and the same thing I was feeling. And I said, no, I feel what you're going through. You're stuck in a negative rut, and we're going to get you out of it. And by changing your thinking, your life will change. And so that really is going to help you close more sales as you change your thinking about what's possible. And you silently bring people blessings and wish them joy, success, and happiness. Deepak Chopra says you wouldn't go to someone's home without a gift. Well, bring a gift to your customers and to your meetings. It's an energy. And if you can pick up, and I can pick up on someone's draining energy, guess what? Customers and clients will pick up on your positive energy, on those silent blessings that you bring them, and your excitement and awe for solving a problem, not for selling anything. You will build such a respect that whether people buy from you now or not, they'll buy from you later, and they'll refer you because they'll say, wow, I don't know what it was. This person had something about them. Make sure that that something about them is not that they feel your pressure and that you want to sell them something and that's all you want to do and you could care less about them. People pick up on it. If you pay attention and you're in your body and you're grounded, you'll notice when your clients are frustrated. I've talked to people who I said, right in the middle of I don't think you're really happy with being here. Is it something I'm doing? Because I sense it. So when I feel something, I find a way to say it. And they have said to me, it's just really not a good time. I got so much pressure when I gave you the appointment. I didn't realize this, and this was going to happen. Okay, great. Can we come back next week on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday? You tell me. No. How about tomorrow? Or how about can you wait like 15 minutes? I just need to get this one thing done. So by going with what I was feeling, I freed them to go deal with something that was putting stress on them that I could see. I could sense it. That's what you want to do, is raise your EQ, your emotional quotient. You'll get better at closing more sales as you're more aware of how you show up in life. And you don't need a technique and a tactic. Will it be important to learn things and have different tools in your toolbox? Like some things about the Challenger sale, and they're not for everyone, by the way. It's not for every situation. Some things about the Jeffrey Thull's book, Mastering the Complex Sale, a great book. Not everything in there can be applied in every situation. That's the dynamics of communication and being human. And as you read all this different stuff, Jeffrey Gitomer, great books, The Sales Bible, and all the different books he's written, all great books. All that stuff is not applicable. There's just so much about selling, especially today. And the best thing to learn is what I'm teaching. Now, listen, I'm intelligently selfish here. I'm not making anyone else's stuff wrong. Read it all. Read it all. I'm a fan of education and growth. I read almost every sales book that comes out. Almost. If I could move the camera, I'd show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 20 books right here that I'm in a process of. I pick them up, I read a few chapters. I don't always read them from beginning to end, but I go through them and I highlight and I read. I'm the cliff notes for my clients, and I read what I think is important. And I always find a nugget, a tool, a shiny new tool, like a new hammer, or a new ratchet, or a new scissors for sewing, but I find something new that I can put in the toolbox that I can pull out. You know what, here, this is the spot to challenge this person because they're giving me a line of BS. And I know because I just helped 3 customers and I can tell them a story. You want to use third-party stories, and I can say, hey, Mr. X or Ms. X, Ms. X, guess what? I got to challenge you here. I've got to call you on this, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable. Tell me how I do it. I've got to change your thinking on this. No, well, I don't know. Go ahead, just tell me then. So you tell them. Here's 3 customers. I'll give you one first. We'll move to the other one if you want to hear it. Tell me if this is you right now. And I tell them the story of how I had a similar situation, a similar client, and this is what they were thinking, just like this person was thinking. And they decided to go with our solution, and here's what happened. And later they said to me, we're glad, Steve, we went with your solution and that you pushed us and challenged us a little bit. You have to know when to do it. Then you can say, would you like to talk to some of these people that have had this exact experience that you're describing, and you want to go with X, Y, Z, and I think our solution's better. 99% of people will say, yes, I want the experience. I want to go with and talk to these people. They may not say, yes, I'm going to buy your solution yet, but they do want to hear from other people. That's the value of third-party stories. What's really happening? I'm using real stories here as I'm teaching you. Things that have happened to me, things that have happened to salespeople I've coached, I've written with, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. Okay, so I'm grateful for this time. I've gone over. I always give a little more because that's what I do. And stay tuned next Thursday as we'll cover some new things in selling, and I'll give you some more new ideas that you can go out and use right away. So such things as how to pull someone towards you, and close them when initially they are resistant and or you're in voicemail jail. I'll get you to get them. I'll help you get them to call you back and give you the answer, whether it's no or, hey, we're just in a delay, or, yeah, you know what, we really want to buy it. I'm going to help you with that. And other things, plus some more true stories. I call them more stories in the naked city. All right. See you next week. Thank you.